Hey guys, so today in this video we'll be making a simple code generator. So in my previous video, if you have been following, you would have seen that by clicking the button we change the background. This time by clicking this button we'll be changing the background and also creating the code. If you want, we can change the background or we can just leave it as it is. Without any further ado, let's jump into the coding. So first we'll go ahead and create a folder. So I'll do it in my desktop and we'll call this folder as code generator. And I'll open this with code, Visual Studio Code, and then in this we'll do an HTML file. We'll title this web page as codes. As you saw the design of it, it had a container in the middle of the page. So for that we'll create a div with a container and inside that div we'll have a heading and that will be codes generator, and where the code's gonna come we'll put that in a div and we'll name it as class as codes. So this is where the codes is gonna be there. So codes here. So when is the new code generated? When we click on that button. So we'll create a button and we'll give it as new code. To create an animation for that button, we'll use Bootstrap. So you'll go to your favorite browser and then you go to Bootstrap button. So Bootstrap buttons, and then I'll be using this simple one which is dark effect. So we'll give it as a class of btn outline dark. And to access it, we need to give the Bootstrap link. So we'll go here and we will use the CSS only link. Now we create a CSS file to style it. So we'll call it style.css and we'll link it to the HTML file. So link CSS. So style.css and then we'll save it. Since everything is inside this container class, we'll give it dot container and we'll say text align center and margin top to be 50 VH. So it's like in the center of it. So now for the container we'll give a background of white. And then for the body we'll give a background of, like, let's say we can give it as gray. So there's a contrast and you can see it as a different thing. Now we'll create a JavaScript file, so we'll name it as app.js and then we'll link it to the HTML file. So script src app.js. Now what we want to do is when we click on that button, a function should be run so that you'll be having the codes displayed. So on click, we'll call a function and that function will be code generator and brackets. So this will be the function. So we'll go to app.js and the codes we'll give it as an array. So I have some codes which I have copied of the web. So you can do the same thing by looking at the source code in the link, or you can go to your web browser and then just search for some codes that you might like to use. So what we'll do is now we'll put the codes in a array. So var codes, the variable will be codes and we'll give it in an array and inside that we'll give the codes. So now what we'll do is we'll create that function. So function code generator. Just make sure that you have the spelling right. So we'll take this straight off here, we'll copy it. You don't want to make any spelling mistakes, otherwise you just don't know that this function is going to be running. So now what we'll be doing is we'll be creating integer so that you can access the variables inside that string. We'll use the random function, so math.random. So now the math.random will give you a value from 0 to 1 excluding 1. So now we'll give it within the range of codes.length. So it's like in the range of codes. Now it gives a decimal number. We want like an integer number, so we use math.flow. So we get an integer. Now what we'll do is we use the codes we'll get the code using the index, and then we will assign it to this div. I'll make this as a ID instead of a code. Now once this is done, what we'll do is, and what's the ID? It's called quote. Oops, sorry. It's called quotes. And in there, what is the code that we want in this? So this is called as innerHTML. So innerHTML is equal to quotes of index. So this will like automatically generate a quote from one of these. So create an integer, like any integer within this range, and then it will take that string and assign it to the get innerHTML. So we'll save this, and then we will open it with live server. So open it in default browser. So it's there. So it's like in the middle. So when you click on new quote, a quote is generated. And that time you click it, it's another one generated. Another one. So you can like style this using CSS so that the background also background color changes, does not remain gray always. So you can do all of that. You can give style to this quotes generator. So that's what I did initially. So to give it a bit of a styling effect. So this is what I created. So here I have like given it a separate color. I have underlined it. I've confined the box, and the background color also changes when you click on this. So new code, it changes to red, and you have the code. You click on it, the background color also changes. So I've linked the code in the description. There's a GitHub repository link in the description. Or if you want to know how this background changes, I'll link that video too. And then you can see it and just like work on it, and you can style it in your own way, giving it more effects and all of it. And you can build in your own quotes. And if you like this video, please do give a like button. And if you have any suggestions for the video, do comment it in the comment section, and do subscribe if you haven't, because I'll be putting more such videos about JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and it'll be simple and really good applications to create. Thank you.